Hey guys, welcome back. For this lecture, we're just going to do a summary of all the things we covered in this section. So we're going to do this before we hit the quiz. Let's cover all the topics. So let's first begin with what the logic functions are. So we began with just discussing how we use logic functions every day. Even though we may not know it, it's all about choosing or deciding on something based on a series of conditions or criteria. Examples we chose were things like if you buy a dress, it can either be blue or red, one or the other. If it's one of those two, then yes, we'll buy it, or no, we won't if it's not the right color. For guys who are a little bit tech savvy, it's the same case where you buy a phone. I want the phone to have a camera. I want it to be an Apple phone or an Android phone. I want it to have this many colors. I want it to have this ringtone. So logic functions are used every day. Now that takes us to our next topic of actually using the if function in Excel. Excel works the very same way. Is you give it a set of circumstances in the right syntax, in the right order, like we have up here. Okay, and it will basically do your bidding. It will extract information or execute commands and fill in the information for you based on those conditions. And what we did next in order to help us do that was use our if function map. Now again, let's just go through that really quickly. The if function is always broken down into three parts. You always have your criteria, okay? The dress has to be blue, or it has to be red, or it has to go to my feet, or the phone has to have this camera on it, and so on. So that's your criteria. You're asking Excel, I want it to do this. Okay? And if that condition is met, Excel goes, yes, I can do that based on your information. Then I want you to do this, whatever is in the true column. Okay? Because our condition has been met, and therefore the condition is true. If it's not true, if it's false, then I want you to do this. Okay, so this if function map is a very powerful tool for the beginner, and also I write things down once it gets a little bit more complicated because it's a lot easier to see it when it's in this structure. So feel free to print this out, use it as much as you like. It's a great tool, and I hope it really helps. And the next thing we covered was the OR function. Now, the OR function is a different set of criteria in that you can choose from multiple criteria. If at least one of those criteria is met, then the condition is considered true. So if you say, let's go back to our phone example. Okay, I want a phone and it can be Apple, camera, an Apple phone, have a camera, have certain types of colors that it can do, and I want it to be able to write text messages. As long as it can do one of those things, then I'm happy to buy it. It's the same for our dress example, where we said it could either be blue, it can either be red, or it can go to my feet, and so on. If one of those conditions is met, then the situation is considered true. So that's what the OR function is. From there, we also learn what the AND function is. Now, the AND function is different from the OR function in that in the OR function, if one condition is met, then the situation is considered true. But in the AND function, every condition that you set must be true and it must be fulfilled. Otherwise, the if function will regard your analysis as false. Okay? Now, on top of the AND function, we also learned how to use the greater than and less than symbols. Now, this is a great addition to your repertoire of skills because using the equal symbol, yes, it's great, but of course it has its limitations. Having the greater than or less than signs allows you to deal with more information. Couple that with using the AND function, the if function, you become a very powerful Excel user now. So with this section alone, you've basically upgraded a whole level in Excel. You're basically not a beginner anymore. Okay? So those are all the topics we covered. So let's get to the quiz now. I hope you guys enjoyed the little summary, and I will see you guys soon.